Welcome to Review Nation, and if you want Norwegian black metal, you've come to the right place. That's right, guys. I have found a Norwegian black metal band. They just released an album on January 31st, 2020, and it's the band Nattverd and their album Styggdom. Okay, so what can I say about this album? This album is very atmospheric. It's got the traditional black metal sound, but it's also quite a dynamic album as well. It's a three-man band. You got Atia on guitars and bass, you got Orma, who's on vocals, and Serpentar, who's on drums. You know what? These three individuals are fucking great musicians. They really are. And Orma's vocals are just fantastic. It's very different sound, but it's quite atmospheric as well. Not to mention the catchy riffs throughout this album. There are some really catchy riffs and melodic moments as well, melancholy moments. So when I discovered this band, the album cover, man, looked absolutely amazing. I just love how dark and gloomy the album cover is. You have like a dead person lying in a bed. I mean, I just wanted to hear this album. I wanted to hear this album and see what it was all about. And I was very impressed. This is their sophomore album. I've got to check out their first album, but this is their sophomore album. Let's talk about the production. The production is top-notch black metal production. It really is. It doesn't sound like it's from a potato. It doesn't sound like old black metal. It just sounds like modern black metal. And I love that modern black metal sound. I really do. The guitars are pretty crisp. The drums are pretty crisp as well. Guitars are slightly like a buzzing bee. They incorporate some doomy elements throughout this album. Look, man, this album is intense as anything as well. The vocals, Orma's vocals are dynamic and rich and shrieky. The songwriting, the song structure of this album can be basic at times, but man, it really works, and it's a very enjoyable and fun album to listen to. It leads on to track 1, which is Styggdom, Dirty Looper, How to Lize Runde Ballet. I probably butchered that name, but I didn't give a fuck. It's a 7-minute song, so it's like a crescendo. It's really soft at first, and then all of a sudden it hits you with those blast beats. Serpentar incorporates amazing drum fills throughout this song. Nice use of the cymbals as well. But then Orma comes in, and you get those amazing riffs as well. The riffs are amazing by Atia throughout track 1. And track 1 just is quite intense. Such an interesting way to kick off an album as well. Orma's vocals are so damn dynamic, and it's quite a strange black metal song, it really is. But man, it's a great way to just kick off the album. We got the Dragsvolt. So at first it's quite slow, and then it really builds up. It really builds up towards the intense blast beats throughout this song, not to mention the nice catchy guitar riffs again and the nice tremolo moments. But yet the guitars really remind me of the Burzum guitars that we get for Philosophium. They sort of made the guitar tone sound like a buzzing bee, which is really enjoyable, especially throughout this song. Dragsvolt is intense as well. Orma comes in with crazy vocals, some really nice drum moments throughout this song, especially the build up towards that instrumental section as well throughout Dragsvolt. Leads on to Scotoscop, a very interesting song. So for the first 3 minutes, you get a choir and you get some symphonic elements like a violin and a bit of a piano throughout the introduction. And then all of a sudden, without even knowing, now the choir and everything create that atmosphere. It's quite a strange song as well. And before you know it, about 3 minutes in, you get hit by fucking crazy blast beats, crazy vocals, crazy guitar work, amazing guitar riffs throughout the song. Again, very catchy riffs that the melodies seep into your brain, and I love that. You get some amazing vocal work, amazing embellishments with the guitars and drums, and it's just a really enjoyable song. Again, some sort of symphonic elements throughout, but it's a very enjoyable song. on to Hexabran. Hexabran, another intense song. The vocal work by Omar is fantastic, and Atia again incorporates amazing guitar riffs that again seep into your brain. The guitar riffs are very catchy. What I don't really enjoy about this song is to insert like a phone call or something like that throughout the middle part of the song, which goes on for about 2 or 3 minutes. It's a 9-minute song as well. The instrumentals are just absolutely fantastic. I don't agree with the female vocals throughout this song because she's basically just talking, and I didn't really enjoy that. But man, there's a nice melancholy groove to this song. Some parts really remind me of stuff out of Behemoth. Maybe they were inspired by Behemoth, especially songs like Lucifer. But I do really enjoy this song. It's a very enjoyable song. It leads on to Get Along's Island og Right. So this song is sort of a basic song, basic black metal song. The shrieks are fantastic by Omar, but this song really doesn't do much for me. Again, some really nice guitar riffs. When I say this is that I've heard the same thing from these guys before, and that's just my honest opinion here, that nothing really is exciting or anything. It's just a fun song to listen to. It's still a pretty fun song to listen to. I really do enjoy it. But I feel like the Hexabran and the other songs before that were a lot better songs musically. This is sort of following I feel like this song was on autopilot. So then it leads on to Gamel Eric. Gamel Eric, very interesting introduction. It really is. It's like a chants or rituals or something like that. Maybe satanic rituals or something like that. That again leads on to the same sort of format we're getting throughout this album, and that is really good musicianship, really good vocals, but it's something that's, we've heard it before, and we kind of want something else. We've heard about 2 songs that sort of sound the same, and again the riffs are quite catchy, but I just feel that Get Alongs and Gamel Eric is probably the weakest songs off the album. But I gotta admit, there are some amazing shrieks, amazing vocal work by Omar throughout this song. Then leads on to track 7, Hedinga ad in Svartverden. Alright, what can I say about this song? It's a very different song to the other songs. Again, you get the same sort of black metal nonsense throughout this song, but throughout the middle section, mate, you get a really nice bass melody, a really good groove. Again, amazing guitar riffs by Atia, but Atia also incorporates, you finally can hear a bit of the bass, and Atia really makes the bass quite prominent, especially throughout the middle part of the song. Accompanies with some really nice cymbal moments, and then all of a sudden it picks up, and it's in your fucking face again. So I love that part of the song. It's a very different part, very different special moment to the album as well, especially towards the listener, where we've had mainly just heavy black metal, and finally we get a really nice subtle moment with the bass and drums. Beautiful moment off the album, and I loved it. Then it leads on to track 8, not even going to pronounce that, but it leads on to track 8, and I'm just going to call Goods. Goods is a really interesting song. It's an 8-minute song. You get another catchy guitar riff. It's quite melancholy, and there's also a strange, depressing tone throughout this song. And again, Omar's vocals are very soaring, high and shrieky, and I love that. Incorporates those lows as well, which is just fantastic. interesting song really is, I feel the guitar riffs are slightly repetitive throughout this song, but damn, if they're repetitive, they get stuck in your head. The guitar riffs are fantastic and everything, it's amazing guitar riffs. Sometimes the guitar becomes basic and you don't get those intricate moments throughout black metal songs, which is unfortunate. Would like to hear some solos as well throughout this album. Nattverd Styggdom is just a really fun album. It's a fun album to listen to, and I loved it. I loved how basic it was. It was a basic album, but it did it right. The guitar riffs are as catchy as fuck, and I love that. I love the sort of burzum vibe you are getting, especially those guitars. Those guitars sound like a buzzing bee, like songs out of Phillipsum, in my opinion. I love that. I really do. So you can tell maybe they were inspired by burzum, not too sure, but really did enjoy this album. I really did. It's the fun factor. The fun factor was there. The vocals were there. Ormar's vocals are just incredible and dynamic. Atiya's guitar work, fantastic as well. Creates those catchy riffs. There are some doom elements throughout this album, and there are some blood-curdling moments as well. Not to mention, the guitars are like a war. Guitars are like a war, especially throughout this album. They're very prominent, and I love how they do it. So for Nattverd Styggdom, I'm going to give this a solid 7 out of 10. It was a very enjoyable album. I loved it. It was a great release for these guys. I've got to check out their first album. And yeah, guys, comment below if you enjoyed this review. Guys, comment below also if you actually listen to this album. Give me your feedback. So drop a like, because these videos do take a while to edit. Subscribe, and I will see you in